Hello, Abyssal Travelers. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be fairly short. I'm going to stick to the point, mostly because I'm tired, and mostly because this topic is very straightforward. So, your label is not your personality. There are a lot of people out there in the LGBT community who treat their labels like their personality. And they're just adding on label after label after label. The point of a label is to be definitive. The reason we give things labels is so that we can easily identify what it is that is being referenced. And in the LGBT community, we have taken labels and run rampant with them. We've gone off the deep end. We've created labels we've created so many conflicting and complicated labels that they don't mean anything at all anymore. They do not have a cohesive definition for anything. And a lot of the younger LGBT members have taken this idea and they've turned it entirely into their personality. Their entire personality is based around what label they've given themselves. And it's become a real problem, mostly because there are labels out there being created for things that already exist. And the reason that those offshoot labels exist is because people in the LGBT community are trying to one-up themselves. They're trying to make themselves more quirky, more different than the next person. They're trying to outdo each other. We're in conflict with one another right now because of some dumb labels. We've created an entire war out of making certain labels for ourselves, and who has the best label and who has the most labels. It's crazy. It's insane. We need to come together and decide exactly what kind of labels are going to be used for what type of for whatever they're going to be used in the non-binary community, in the sexual orientation space. We need to narrow these labels down so that people outside of the community who look at this won't just immediately say they're just making shit up. Because even though I am transgender and I am a part of the community, I myself look at these labels and the first thing that comes to mind is people are just making shit up. And that's not good if people like me inside the community are having these thoughts. So we need to cut these labels up, find what really works. We need to find a cohesive definition for each of us that works well enough to describe who and what we are, how we identify who and what we are attracted to, and then we condense it all into a couple of different categories with much smaller lists of labels. Or better yet, we just get rid of them all. We don't identify with anything because it's just become one big mess, and it's the thing that Christians and people outside of Christianity even are using against us, because there are so many labels, and there are doubles and even triple labels stacked on top of one another that mean exactly the same thing but in a slightly different way. It's nonsense and we need to stop it. I know that you believe that these labels are a part of yourself, but really what you're doing is you're creating a personality out of these labels. You're making yourself the label instead of using the label to define yourself to other people so that they can better understand. You're taking these labels and you're turning yourself into whatever the label is. You are being defined by the label that you are choosing rather than using the label for what it was intended to be used for. And that's the raw truth. It sucks to hear. It sucks to hear it. But you have to realize and we have to realize that this is really what's going on. People are taking labels and making a personality out of all of them. But yeah. I just want to put that out there for all of you in the LGBT communities. Maybe we can start trying to get a little bit more cohesive with our definitions and not have thousands of them. You know, maybe we narrow it down to like, I don't know, 50, 60. Maybe we narrow it down to 20 or 30. You know, we narrow the gap so that people can actually understand what we are rather than looking at this mess of labels and saying all of that shit looks completely made up. So I'm not gonna listen to what these people have to say because they're making shit up. And if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And that's what a lot of people are going to do, and that's what they're going to say. So we need to cut it out. We need to find ourselves a reasonable way of describing our community without the millions of labels that are already out there. And I know that it feels like I'm invalidating you and all of this other stuff, that you might feel less invalidated because you don't have your label. I can tell you right now, if you get rid of the label completely, you're going to feel 20 times more free than if you continued to use that label for yourself. Because what that label is doing is putting you in a box, basically. And the box doesn't feel good, and so you have to add on another label. And then you're still in a box, and so you have to add on another label, and another label, and another label, until it feels right. But by that time, you've got 20 different labels on yourself, and they're all completely different, and some of them overlap with one another, and some of them are just different ways to explain the same exact thing. And it's crazy. It's an entire mess. And you would be far more free if you just removed the labels entirely. If you just didn't identify with any of the labels at all. You know, you tell people what you are, but you don't identify yourself with the labels. You just tell people, or you don't even have to tell people who and what you are or what your sexuality is. You just don't ever get into it, you know? You keep your private life private. Nobody needs to know that shit. Nobody needs to know what you do behind closed doors. Nobody needs to know what gender you consider yourself to be. Let them call you whatever the fuck they want to call you, and at the end of the day, you know who you are. Who gives a fuck what they think? Who cares? But yeah, anyway, I'll wrap up this video there, and so, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below. It helps to push this video out in the algorithm, and also helps to grow the channel. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts and opinions. I hope this video has earned your subscription, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.